What's up, guys? It's your boy Curly Fries. And quick, who'd win in a fight? 1 billion lions or one of every single Pokemon? Go leave your answers in the comments, okay? We'll see if you get the correct answer, because yes, there is a correct answer to this. I'm waiting. Okay, now that you answered, the correct answer is one of every single Pokemon. Don't go back and try to change it. Don't try to go back and edit your comment. I've already seen it. I already know what you put originally. Now, you might think this is just an open and shut case, you know? Of course the Pokemon would win. 1 billion is a lot of lions, but come on, we're talking Pokemon here. But sadly, there is a lot of people out there who lack critical thinking skills. That is a joke, I'm kidding. Now, my job today is to just explain to those people why they're wrong, okay? My job today is to help them realize the fault, the error in their judgment. Again, this is all for jokes, not really serious. This is a fictional question, so technically, we have no way of knowing, right? Right? If so, then why would I be making this video? Come on, think. There is a right answer to this, and that's what I'm proving today. But before we get into that, we got to set some ground rules. First, this fight, it's taking place on a big ol' island. This is a Pangea situation, okay? Imagine we took all of our continents, mushed them together, made a giant island surrounded by water that could comfortably fit 1 billion lions in every single Pokemon. Like, all of them could be standing, shoulder to shoulder, and there'd still be a lot of room left to roam. Also, we're going to imagine this is just a Minecraft super flat world. So there is no, difference in elevations. And also, to be fair, the weather condition currently at the starting of the battle is just neutral. There's just the sun. It's what, I would say normal weather. So it's I don't know, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. You can go figure that out. Imagine using Celsius. Second rule. Each lion has a 50-50% chance to be male or female. This does make a difference. So, if, for example, let me explain real quick. Male lions, they're big, they're strong, but they're not that fast. That's why, usually they'll be fighting off predators and big people trying to come and, hurt the pride. But they're not going to be going out and, finding dinner. No, that's the female lions because they're smaller, they're more agile, but they're still pretty strong. Let's be real here. Yeah, you're going to die if a male lion tries to attack you, but you're also going to die if a female lion attacks you. Probably faster. I mean, they're quick. Also, because it is a 50-50% chance, we're just going to assume that half of the lions are, male, the other half is female. Third, the Pokemon are fighting in the Legends ZA style. Legends ZA actually really helped this question come along because before, most of the arguments was, Pokemon gotta stand around and wait to get hit. No, they don't. ZA shows that Pokemon can dodge moves, and normally with this, you would just say, let's use the anime as an example. But now we literally have a game using that as an example. So, Legends ZA's style of combat. Also, Pokemon are still limited to only knowing 4 moves. But, again, it works like how it does in Legends ZA. Yes, they have a limited time amount of, they have a limited amount of uses of it. And they do have to recharge. You have to wait to use them again. But there's no other real limit on them. So, yeah, they can use Ice Beam, I don't know, I think Ice Beam's 15 times, or it's a 10 PP move. But Ice Beam is a huge Ice Beam, so think about that. Number 4, the Lions and Pokemon are working together on their teams respectively. This is important because if not, there's, some Pokemon, they would fight each other like Zangoose and Seviper. They wouldn't attack the Lions, they'd attack each other. Or, Groudon and Kyogre, they would just fight for dominance, and then Rayquaza would have to, show up and beat that. But this would also hurt the Lions because in that case, that 50% of your Lions would all fight each other to figure out who's the most dominant lion of the guys, and then that one lion would lead the pride. So you would only get, 500 million female lions and then one male lion. Because all of them would just fight to the death. I mean, that's how it works in the wild. So we're assuming that everybody is working together, okay? Yes, the other lion guys hate each other, but they hate the Pokemon more. Zangoose and Seviper, they hate each other, but they hate the lions more. So everybody's team they're working together. They're in sync. Fifth and final rule. So the way this ends is when one entire team has fainted to keep with the Pokemon trend. And also, we're assuming everybody has infinite stamina. So like the lions, like none of the animals are going to get hungry. None of the Pokemon are going to get hungry. But Pokemon will have a limit on their moves. But also, after that, Pokemon can still do things like normally throw a punch. You guys know that, right? Like they can just normally bite things. Like a Pidgey doesn't know fly, but it can still fly. Other Pokemon, that can bite don't learn bite. I'd give an example, but I can't really think of one. But you get what I'm saying. Things that aren't moves, like Machamp just throwing a normal punch, he can still do that. Yes, though, he will have limits on how many times he can use something like Mach Punch. Same thing with the lions. They could just fight. All right, now we got the boring part out of the way. We got all the ground rules out of the way. Now we get to get into the fun part. So why would the Pokemon win? First, I'm going to go over why the Pokemon would win, and then I'm going to try, I don't know why I did air quotes, I'm going to try and defend the lions. Okay, I will try to the best of my ability, but I will help you realize that you guys are so wrong. Okay, my first point for why the Pokemons win. 2 words, flying type. Lions have no way to deal with that. Have you seen lions? They're ground animals. They can't get up in the sky. You might say things like lion ladder or lion airplane. That's not how lions work. Have you ever seen National Geographic? They can't do that. I'm not going to give any lions supernatural abilities except for one thing. I will give them this. Lions, when they bite, will count it as a dark type move. They won't have any PP for when they use bite, but it will be a dark type move. That way they can hit ghost types, okay? They have a Pokemon move, but keep in mind, that also means that when they bite things like, a fighting type, it's not going to do a lot of damage. But yeah, like I'm saying, what the heck is a lion going to do to a bird? Lions can't fight birds. And flying type doesn't only have birds. Gyarados is a flying type. He shouldn't be, but he is. He can fly up in the air. Have you seen him in the Arceus games? He's like a dragon through the sky. He should have been a dragon type. I digress. But then you have things like Charizard. What are they going to do to those guys? How is a lion going to beat Charizard? A normal lion. Also, what are they going to do when Charizard burns them to a crisp? Not even just Charizard. Gyarados uses Hyper Beam. That's knocking out at least 1,000. Okay, my second point. Legendaries would sweep. I don't even need, realistically, I need one Pokemon, and I don't even need Arceus. Arceus. Kyogre. He's the big whale that moves oceans. Canonically, in the game, he can just create water. The only thing that stopped him was a 10-year-old with a Master Ball. The lions can't do anything to Kyogre. He's a giant mythical whale that can summon the ocean. And let me tell you something, lions aren't great swimmers. I'm going to fact check that actually. Yes, they are okay swimmers, but they don't like water. And they're not going to last in the middle of the ocean. You throw one lion in the middle of the ocean, it's not surviving. Some of them might survive longer than others, okay? Because it's a billion, maybe like a couple of them, pile on top of each other on accident, and then one, it can breathe because it's floating on, the other ones. But, Kyogre, that's his element, and then that's where, him just using moves comes in. Hyper Beam, again, would take most of them out. Again, this is kind of correlating to my second point. Arceus. Literally, do I need to explain more? Arceus is, in the Pokemon universe, canonically God, and through God, we can do all things. So Arceus would just use Perish Song. Now this one, not even a hostile thing. No Pokemon would actually have to physically attack one of them. All you gotta have is one Pokemon use Blizzard. Because the battle area is the entire island. Think about it. We're fighting all of the lions. It's everywhere. And we have seen that you can fight multiple different enemies in past games. In Arceus, for example, Legends Arceus, we've had trainers throw out 3 Pokemon at once. Yeah, so literally one Pokemon using Blizzard, none of those lions are surviving. Lions, I don't know if you know this, they live in the desert. They live in the Sahara. They're not surviving in Antarctica. And then you got Pokemon that have Snowcloak, Frostlass. She can just... Nobody can touch her. We can barely touch her in normal Pokemon games. How the heck do you think a lion will? Okay, so my main point here is I only need one Pokemon, and that one Pokemon is Kyogre. Okay, let's get the Pokemon out of the way. Now, this is me trying to defend the lions. I'm really trying here, guys. I came up with as many points as I could. So let me just... Okay, I mentioned this earlier, but we're letting the lions use Bite as a dark type move, and they don't ever run out of PP on that. Okay, so they can hit ghost types, because that would be another point. How the heck are they going to hit a Gengar? You can't touch them. And then after that, you could have something like Haunter just lick a lot of the giants, and then they just die. Giants, the lions, lick the lions. Don't lick the giants. Don't lick Reggie Gigas. Don't do that. He's on our team. There's a lot of lions. Let's be real here. 1 billion. That's a lot. That's a lot of zeros. To the point where for this next part, instead of typing out the number 1 billion, I just Googled 1 billion. So what I did is I took 1 billion, I took all the lions, and I divided that by 1,025. That's every single Pokemon. Now, we just got to figure out, this is just to figure out how many lions each Pokemon would have to take out. And that would be 975,610, approximately. It was like 609 point something. I just rounded it up. But let's be real here. There's a lot of Pokemon on the list that aren't taking anybody out. More than at least one. Most of the babies, they couldn't. The ones with elemental powers, like Magby, Elekid, maybe they take out one. But things like Munchlax, he's not doing squat. I'm sorry, but I love Munchlax. He's not doing anything. But Snorlax, though, I'm sorry. I'm defending the Pokemon here. I'm defending the Lions. Defend the Lions. Yeah, and there's 19 baby Pokemon. So you take that off the 1,025, that becomes, I'm not going to do the math right now. Editor Curly will do that. But what I'm trying to say is, yeah, there's a lot of lions each individual Pokemon would have to take out. And some Pokemon aren't realistically going to take out more than one, so a lot of other Pokemon would have to do some heavy lifting. There's a lot of lions. Like I said, 1 billion's a big number. Listen, guys, I'm trying my best here. There's not a lot to defend here, okay? It's a really big number. That's why, literally everybody defending the lions, this is their argument. Lions, there's a lot of them. And lion boat, okay? All right, let's bring, you know what? I'm going to join the team of lion creation. Lions, hear me out. They link up together, and then on the inside, they have 2 lions running so fast that they make a bomb. I don't know what the science is there. Something in the physics. They run so fast inside. They make like a shell of lions, and then inside there's 2 really fast lions, and they're running as fast as possible, and they make a little black hole, okay? While this is happening, they make a lion blast chamber where they have 2 lions, 1 male and 1 female. They are the chosen 2. They will be put in a protective lion shield, okay? Because they'll make a black hole because they're spinning so fast, and then they'll release it, and then all the Pokemon and all of the lions, except for those 2 in the blast shield, will get sucked in. But right before the last 2 get sucked in, it dies. The black hole, it folds in on itself. And then those 2 lions live, and then the lions win. That, or they build a fighter jet. So I don't have any more points for defending the lions. I did my best, but that's neither here nor there. I'm pretty sure that's how you use that phrase. I don't know. I just used that on the spot. I feel really smart now that I use that. Anyway, this entire video. This is just to prove a point because I really feel like this isn't that hard of a discussion. I feel, like I said earlier, if you have critical thinking skills for 1 second, it makes sense. Like it doesn't make sense how the Lions would win. Anyway, if you want to help me out, you can subscribe, or you can check out my last video where, what was my last video about? You can check out my last video where I talked about one of my favorite games of all time, which just so happened to be made by Google. It's a Google Doodle game. You can go check that out. I'll put it on this side, like I always do. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. Peace.
I'm on tonight, you know my hips don't lie, and I'm starting to feel just right. Attraction, so nah. But this is perfection. Oh baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad. So be wise and keep on reading the signs of my body.
I know I did that out of order. I wasn't thinking.